Millions of women today are challenged and very concerned about their hormonal health problems. Women of all ages are suffering from symptoms related to hormones that have gone out of balance. Healthcare practitioners agree that women will benefit from this hormone balancing program. Jackie Harvey is an international speaker, radio program host, seminar leader, and business trainer. She's also a mother of 7. Thousands of women have attended her live heart-to-heart seminars. These seminars, which she has presented nationwide, positively empower women to make well-informed and educated choices regarding their own hormone health and wellness.
I live and I have my being in the world of the hormonally challenged. I became a hormonally challenged woman at 47, experiencing symptoms related to PMS when I've never had PMS before. My daughters, too, were showing all the symptoms of being hormonally challenged, all 5 of them. So you see, I became interested in the hormone issue out of self-defense. My husband called the PMS time in our home the pack my suitcase time. It was when my doctor offered me the opportunity to go on hormone replacement therapy, HRT, and our daughters were offered the pill, that I decided I'd better become more informed. My own research has led me to numerous books on the topic of hormones. I've met interesting doctors and have come across convincing research that has led me to believe that when women's hormones are out of balance, we feel unwell and can actually become ill. When our hormones are in balance, we not only feel great, but our wellness levels increase in many other areas. Information has become the key to my power. I've become passionate about getting an informed message out to women who are concerned. There are many hormonally challenged women who may not have yet heard that they have the power to make better choices regarding their own hormone health. The options out there do not have to include taking drugs for the rest of our lives. Listen, and I know that you'll be encouraged. This DVD will cover 4 areas related to hormones. How our bodies make hormones will be the first topic. Next, we'll talk about the problems of hormones out of balance. We call that estrogen dominance. Then we'll talk about the synthetic options that are available to women today: birth control pills, ERT, HRT. And finally, we'll talk about the natural solutions for hormones that are out of balance. Hormones are chemical messengers that take information to every cell in our body. All sex steroid hormones are made from cholesterol. Cholesterol is the main building block in the production of steroid hormones in our body. If you've only heard of the negative role of cholesterol, you will have heard that elevated cholesterol increases our risk for heart disease. However, we need cholesterol to produce all of the hormones that our body makes. The next hormone in the pathway is pregnenolone. Pregnenolone is called the grandmother hormone. It is the precursor to all of the others. Progesterone is the next hormone in the biosynthetic pathway. Progesterone gets its name because it is the hormone that's necessary to keep a pregnancy in a woman. It's called the progestation hormone. However, men's bodies produce about 10 milligrams of progesterone on a daily basis, and normally a woman would produce about 20 milligrams of progesterone on a daily basis. But when a woman is pregnant, her body will produce as much as 300 to 400 milligrams of progesterone. Progesterone is a very important hormone for women. The next hormone in the biosynthetic pathway to hormone production are androgen hormones. They are male sex steroid hormones. And of course, men have lots of them, but women have some too. When these hormones go out of balance in a woman, it's called androgen dominance. It evidences itself with increased facial hair that women don't appreciate. The voice changes. Sometimes it will deepen. We experience additional hair loss. We call that male pattern balding. And sometimes our figures change. Where we used to have nice curvy figures in our youth, our figure becomes much more square and boxy. Androgen hormones are always kept in check by progesterone. When androgen hormones elevate, it usually means progesterone levels are low. We don't like the characteristics of excessive androgen hormones or androgen dominance. Corticosteroid hormones are the next hormone in the biosynthetic pathway. They are primarily made in our adrenal glands, and they affect many areas of our body. They are produced in reaction to stress. Women today are under a tremendous amount of stress. When we're under stress, our body overproduces cortisol. When that happens, some chronic pain disorders, inflammation, and allergies result. With regards to pain disorders, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome would be 2 examples. If you're a woman who's suffering from those illnesses, check out the possibility of a hormone connection. In the area of inflammation, the largest inflammatory disease that women are experiencing today is arthritis. We know that arthritis is a crippling disease. We also know that it could have a hormone connection. In the area of allergies, these aren't allergies that we bring in from our youth or allergies that have developed maybe from our mid-30s. They're allergies that can become tremendously illness-causing and are a great concern to women today. In all three areas, pain disorders, arthritis, and allergies, we encourage you to check out the possibility of a hormone connection. Estrogen is the next hormone in the biosynthetic pathway, and estrogen refers to a group of hormones found in both men and women. According to Dr. Zava, a breast cancer researcher, estrogen can be an angel of life, or when in excess, can be an angel of death. We do know that adequate estrogen is absolutely necessary for hormonal wellness. There are primarily three forms of estrogen found in a woman's body. E1 estrogen, estrone, is made in our fat cells. Some of you are probably asking yourself, just how fat do I have to be to produce estrogen in my fat cells? Dr. John Lee says that all you need is as little as 10 pounds excess body weight to be able to produce enough estrogen to adequately take you through menopause. It's thought to be the primary culprit in increased risk for endometrial and breast cancers. E2 estradiol is made in the ovaries. It's the most active and potent estrogen found in our body. E3 estriol is the mildest form of estrogen produced in large amounts when we are pregnant. Adequate estrogen is absolutely necessary for a woman's hormone health. Let's take a moment and go over the hormonal stages of a woman's life. The first stage is prepuberty. All hormones are produced in the adrenal glands of children. Low levels are appropriate. There's a common myth that children produce no hormones because their ovaries are not functioning yet. That's not true. The next stage is adolescence. This is where menstruation begins and ovulation begins. Both are often irregular. This is normal. The common myth that the adolescent body is mature because it has reached puberty. That's not true. Premenopause is the next stage. It's a stage of regular menstruation cycles, and these are the potential childbearing years. The common myth at this stage is that regular menstruation means regular ovulation. That's not true. We now know that a woman can menstruate and not ovulate. Perimenopause is the next stage. It can begin as young as the early 30s, but usually starts around the mid-40s. The menstrual cycle ceases during the last year of perimenopause. Perimenopause is characterized by irregular cycles. The common myth in this stage is that hormone levels decline when they actually fluctuate, causing hot flashes, night sweats, and mood swings. The next and final stage is menopause. There's no such thing as postmenopause. There's nothing after menopause. Menstrual cycles have ended. The adrenals are supposed to take over production of estrogen. The common myth here is that hormones drop to levels which are unhealthy. Now, we are taught as women, as we age, that our estrogen levels are dropping so low that we have to bring them up with medication to have them come back into balance. Estrogen levels decrease, but they never drop to zero. Nevertheless, estrogen deficiency is assumed at just about every age. Teenagers, for instance, are given birth control pills to regulate their cycle. That's estrogen. In the 20s, birth control pills are used to prevent pregnancy and to help with PMS. That's estrogen. In the 30s and the 40s, women who experience perimenopausal symptoms are also given the pill. More estrogen. Women are given estrogen when they have their uteruses removed. And for those of us who still have a uterus, when we reach 50, our healthcare practitioners are usually willing to discuss HRT. Are we really estrogen deficient? This is the question that we need to be asking ourselves. It is now being suggested that the real problem is estrogen dominance. It has been stated that the greater number of women are estrogen dominant, not estrogen deficient, as was originally thought. This is what I have learned. During the perimenopause years, estrogen levels fluctuate. They do not drop. It is the fluctuation of estrogen that causes the symptoms in perimenopause. At this same time, progesterone levels are falling. Estrogen levels do not decline until menopause. A 40% drop in estrogen is enough to stop the menstrual cycle. Remember, our body is still making 60% estrogen. Maximum drop in estrogen is 60%. It never goes to zero.